Hi everyone, my name is Mary Beth. Welcome to my channel. So today we're going to ask, what is the tip of the day? What is the hot tip of the day? What is the hot tip of the day for everyone? What's the hot tip? What's the twip? What's the twip, please? What's going on? Hot tip of the day. All right, let's see. What's the twip? What's the twip of the day? Tip of the day. Interesting. Okay. Another hot tip here. It says, there is no such thing as good or bad, since it's just a matrix and it's not real. Our impression on any circumstance is what gives it any meaning. Life is a blank canvas reflecting your thoughts. It's so true, isn't it? It's like you could take a scene or any kind of scenario, right? And some people will look at it and they'll just say, "Oh, wow, that's really bad." And then some people will look at the scenario and say, "Oh, wow, that's really good." And it's funny because I've come to find that in my own journey, if I take a side, if I say something like, "Oh wow, like that belief system's really bad," or "that belief system's really good," what I'll find is that now so I'm not balanced in my perspective, right? So now my pendulum is too far either to the left or my pendulum is too far to the right. So something will happen in my life where my soul will cause, I always think my soul makes terrible choices. Just kidding, soul. Something will happen and it'll swing my pendulum to the other side. And I'll be like, oh, in second thought. And so when the pendulum swings too far, it can't help but to swing the other way. And that does that for a reason, so that you can come back to balance. And now you can see all perspectives, right? And really, there's nothing that's really good or bad. Now, there are some things I know that's really, 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 really hard. Like you have to have a super duper 10th dimension view on certain things to see it as not good or bad. So, for instance, of course, any kind of abuse in any sort of in any circumstantial, I don't know what words I'm trying to say. Usually, I'm blocked. My soul will block me if I try to say something, and then I can't think of the word. My soul's like, no. So I'm gonna say it's probably not what I'm supposed to say. All I'm gonna say is that on some things that we see out there, you really need like a tip-top 10th dimensional bird's eye view in order to not see it as good or bad. You have to be in a really high spot. So, and the way I do that is that we are all oneness, almost like I am it. That's what I'll do. I'll say, and every time something like if something really bad happens, it's really hard, right? But it's to say I am that. We are all one, because I don't get to be, if I'm going to say we are all one, I don't get to be just one with what's good in my eyes. I am also, if I'm at one mint, that's at one mint with everything. And so really everything's just kind of a blank slate. Everything is just how you label it, how you put your perspective on it, how you view it. And you can, and watch what happens with anything, right? So imagine yourself being at work and imagine yourself being shamed at work. I can tell you exactly how that feels. Hello. Witness. And so my first thought is, that's very bad. It's very, very bad. First of all, I said I refuse to be shamed. I didn't, because unless I really do something shameful, I'm not going to feel shamed about it. And secondly, I feel that next thing I do is I just say that's not a nice person for shaming me, right? But then I have to start moving. That takes me a while. Then I have to start to shift, and I have to start to understand that we all oneness. I'm like, well, that person is me. So why is that person treating me like this when that person is me, right? Because I'm trying to be in the we are all oneness, and the union, the unity, all that is. And so what I'll do is then I'll say, okay, this is the mirror, and this is why it happened. Oh, maybe I publicly shamed something on YouTube channel. Maybe I said something and it publicly shamed a group of people, which happens, right? Sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I'm really just blind to it, and I'll say something, and what it does is it'll definitely be against another person's belief system, right? And so what will happen is, it'll be karmic, and then it'll come back to me. Is what I find. It's not really meant to hurt me. It's just meant to give me awareness of what I'm doing, and then it's just to help me be a better person and all that. Anyway, so then in that case, you'd say, oh, that's a good thing, right? So that's a good thing because it's helped me and it's helping me grow, and now I'm expanding. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. So again, everything's a blank slate, and not everything's black and white, right? Because, and I hate to give my opinions, but I'm really kind of strict when it comes to recycling, And I've been recycling since like 1988, and I was forced to actually back in the 80s living in New York. Otherwise, I would have been punished by fine. So I was really quite used to it. And then when I moved out here to the state I'm in now, not too many people are recycling, and it really kind of bugged me, and I kind of saw it as bad. Like it's a bad thing that people don't recycle. As a matter of fact, as a supervisor where I used to work, I used to get so like I would never say anything if you didn't, like I would, but I really kind of was late. I was kind of a laid back supervisor. But like if you didn't recycle, are you kidding? I'm like, why is this Coke can in the garbage? Please recycle this. And so, but in many people's minds, it's just not. It's not a thing. It's not important. And actually, I listened to this one guy. I forget his name, but I really kind of respect him. And he does this. He calls it moonshots. He calls it moonshot. I forget his name, but he's a very successful man. He talks about lack, and how if you have a sense of lack, like if you see everything as lacking, and if you're into that huge social movement of sustainability, he goes, you're going into the mindset of lack, and because that's what you're putting out into the universe, that's what you're going to get back. And I really understand that perspective. I'm like, that makes sense to me. It makes total sense, especially when it's just a matrix. I mean, do you see my Friday videos? I'm literally writing codes into them. You can change stuff. It's like you just write codes into the matrix. So really, there's no such thing as good or bad. Um, it really is just our impression of it. It really is just our response to it. And people can do things, and it's almost like, and it kind of bothers people, right? More when you don't care, right? So if someone wants you to, and you're just like, and you're like, okay. And then they're just like, oh, she doesn't even care. That's like, it's almost like you take the wind out of their sails, right? When they want to like shame you, and then you're just all right. I so yeah, if you can remember that life is a blank canvas, it's just a matrix. And if you feel like it's like you're self-sabotaging, like you're feeling the negativity from your own perspective on something, because really it's like an empty space, right? And then this empty space creates this illusion, right? And then you have this response to the illusion. The illusion's not going to feel anything. It's the only thing that's going to feel anything is yourself. It's either going to affect you really, really well, or it's going to affect you negatively, where you're going to be like, and those negative emotions are going to kind of affect the body, stress out the body, And then what happens, right? Now the body can't heal. It can do one or two things. The body can either stress out or it can heal self. Can't do both at the same time. So you kind of want to make room for the healing, right? And so that's why you have to kind of remember, I'm the only one getting hurt with this perspective. The illusion's not. And I know that's kind of a really, 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 really high perspective of looking at life. That we are the world versus, the world's against me, right? Because you have different perspectives of the world. You can do the world is against me, the world is for me, or I am the world. And really, all are needed. All those perspectives are needed, right? Because you need the third dimension. If you're going to live in the third dimension, that is the view. The world is against me. It's supposed to be that role. Like that's the role you signed up for. And then if you go to the fourth, fifth, maybe sixth dimension, it's more like, oh, the world is for me. And here's the thing, that in different areas of our life, we're like 10th dimension, and certain areas of our life, we're like third dimension, right? In certain areas, right? Just, maybe in career, we're like super, super angry and, kind of like over it. And then in our other areas of our life, we're like super zen, right? So it just depends on the area of your life. But anyway, that's the hot tip of the day. Really, life is a blank canvas that's reflecting your own thoughts. Also remember, it is a mirror of yourself anyway. That's all the energy can do, is mirror back you, whether it be in another person, whether it be in a situation. And sometimes I like to blame my past lives. And I'm like, what now, past lives? I used to do that to my inner child. What now? What now, inner child? Because it would be so like explosive in my mind. And, it was just our wounds that we're just healing. And we're all doing the best we can. So anyway, that's the hot tip of the day. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button. Thank you so much for joining me, and have a great rest of your day. Thanks, everyone. Bye.